Good morning, it's the 3rd of August 2025. We're on the Clarence River and have been for about 3 weeks to 4 weeks, doing a job up in Nimborda to build the funds up. So on this Sunday we're expecting a pretty high wind, up to 35 knots, and it's a bit unsure about how the boat will hold. I dragged anchor on Monday. Wasn't here to see how strong the wind was, but I sort of had a bit of a theory that because in the river when the tide comes in and out and you've got the outflow of the natural current and then also a wind effect, that it's screwing the anchor 180 degrees around every time, especially if it's got enough power to lift the chain and turn the anchor each time, and then perhaps it pops out and then it regains holding again. So because I'm going away in 3 weeks roughly to go for a medical down in Melbourne, I'm going to have to leave my boat by itself because, well, I might decide not to, but I want to see how good this anchor of mine holds. So you can just hear the wind starting to howl a little bit now, and I'm looking out to the left there. The cane fields are starting to bend the sugar cane over. I've got about 30 metres of chain out in 3 metres of water, and my anchor is a Saka, and I just want to see how well it holds. It'll give me an idea of what sort of measures I've got to take, because I'll be away for about a week. No, I might even reschedule the whole medical thing, because I just definitely don't want to risk my boat moving too far, which I don't think it would move real far, but down further up the river, just on the other side of Elizabeth Island, there was a spot I tried to anchor there, and the anchor just kept running over the top of the ground. So there's obviously some places where you're just not going to be able to anchor. So I'm just going to go outside and give you an idea of what is happening. I've pulled up my tinny. I pulled up the tinny, so it's not a concern out there. And I've tied a few things down. We're pointing up the river at the moment. It's sort of like a southwester, that's upstream. And I've been told by the locals it does get pretty rough in here. As you can see, the wind's not even really blowing much at the moment, but just starting to get a few white caps. The anchor's got a good scope on it. You can see that there. Yeah, but I've just got to make sure if it starts to really blow and I'm losing the battle, I'll have to go over to the other bank and maybe get some shelter there. A bit more shelter there than on the side I'm at. Hopefully I don't have to do that. It's never easy moving a boat in really strong winds, but at least I'm on the boat to be able to do that. Yeah, so that's what we're doing today. How do I think we'll go? I don't know. I've had a few troubles with the Saka not holding. But I believe that there's it's a sandy bottom, because he never comes up with any mud off the anchor. Yeah, so the anchor is a Saka, 22 kilograms, and the chain is 10 mil. let's go out and measure the wind speed. It's just starting to really kick up. And we'll go out and measure the wind speed with this device. I've got a feeling my wind speed device underreads. I'll try and compare it against what the Beaufort scale would say. But it just seems to be under-reading to me, because it seemed a bit more than about, this is showing about a 12 knot wind, consistent wind with like 16 knot gusts perhaps. I think it's a bit more than that. Yeah, so I'll probably disregard the information largely. I've set the anchor allowance to 20 metres, but it's sitting on about 5 metres distance, and I quite often use that along with a landmark outside here on those trees, just to get an indicator if we are just slowly dragging. And also if the bow of the boat kicks around at any point, means that the rope's not holding it, or the anchor chain's not holding it. And so the boat then moves sideways like that for a bit until the anchor picks up again. That's an indicator as well, I reckon. Yeah, and other than that, get the engines ready in case. But I'm sure it'll be alright, but we'll get the engines, we'll take all this off just so that we can start the engines quickly and easily and have to motor if need be. Yeah, like I explained before, I had doubts about the Saka 22 kilo anchor holding, and it had drag before. So for peace of mind and to avoid catastrophic consequences of your boat dragging and grounding or hitting something else, I decided to bite the bullet and just went up to Gold Coast Trade Marine Supplies and got a 33 kilogram Rockner anchor, which is got a good reputation. Kept it on the 10 mil chain, so then it was just a matter of changing them over, getting both the anchors up, or getting the Saka up, and then putting my Danforth down just to hold us in place while we changed them over. But if you have a look at the two anchors in place here, the Saka's on the left, the new Rockner's on the right, you can see straight away the difference in the size. And I probably, if I had my time again, probably would have just gone the 40 kilo. Would have had to put that on 12 mil chain, which I wasn't ready to do yet. But yeah, just to go that extra size, I reckon, is to go with anchors. Put all the swivels on and Loctited them, locked wired them, and it was done, and she was ready to go. It's a good addition. So this is the Benabar station job up near a town called Nimboida in the hinterland. It's had the veranda enclosed, and we've replaced the wooden stumps with 75 or 100 by 100 posts with level master heads on them, which are very, very handy. About 53 stumps in all. The only ones we didn't level too much was the bathroom ones, because we wanted to maintain the tiles on there, otherwise they would have cracked if we'd lifted it. A beautiful morning here out at Nimboida, Benabar station job. We've just pulled the enclosed area that used to be a veranda off the front of it, and it's just changed the building immensely. It just looks grander, it feels grander when you sit on the veranda, and the building just looks like it's got a bit of character again rather than that closed in bit. So let's have a look. think you'd have to agree that it looks better with the veranda not enclosed and open like it is. It feels so much better sitting on the veranda and looking over the property. Now, I got this job through Michelle. She's got her property next door, and we know each other from Dookie Ag College days. And she gave me a bit of a hand sliding buckets of concrete underneath and digging out stumps and so forth. This is our concrete plant here, which is where all the action happened. And we also snavelled, or I did, snavelled that grand piano. I don't know how grand it is. It had a few keys still working, but we found out how hard it is actually to fix it later on. And this is all the old stumps that come out from underneath the station house and the ant caps. So I got the job through Michelle, which I was really grateful for, and I got to catch up with her in her neck of the woods, which was really good. The grande piano, it still worked a little bit, but there was a lot of things wrong, and we're about to find out how hard it is to actually fix it. But that's another story. Michelle brought her tractor down and gave this a bit of a hand to get it back on, get it on the ute. And I wouldn't call us piano transporters by any means, but we got the job done, got it down to Victoria. And Michelle was looking forward to giving us the thumbs up, or was it the finger? I think it might have been the finger up for a job well done. Now I'm on. Video on the Clarence with the sail up for the first time actually in the Clarence River, just a head sail. Oh, water's a bit brown from the last rains we had. We're just going down to a place called Bushgrove, and I'm saying we because I've got a couple of friends here one's from Benalla, Kev
right
is here.
Yep. And loving it.
And then we have Lachlan all the way from Kununurra, and he's been here before. I don't know if you recognise him.
Up in Wyndham.
Yeah. So we've got the weekend. They've been here for a few days already, and we've got the weekend to play.
Just play.
And we're going to go Brushgrove tonight, and then we're going to go to Maclean in the morning, and then probably down to Harwood, and maybe check the Broadwater out as well. So Lachlan's been catching a few fish, a few catfish and brim, so we'll try that as well. And the windsurfer, we're going to try that. So I'm just going to turn on the generator for some hot water. Oh, turn that on. Hang on, take two. So as we cruise down the Clarence River, I just wanted to get back to what you would do if the river was in a flood, because it was a real concern back when I decided to go under the bridge. One thing is they will open the bridge in a flood as long as they can get onto their platform. So that's a good to know. And I also learned from the locals there's a place called the Broadwater, which is like a lake that comes off the mainstream of the Clarence River. They said that's the place to go because you won't. The biggest danger is all the floating logs and debris coming down the river that catch on your anchors. So, and the other thing would be to have a high line going to one of the pontoon jetties, but you're not allowed to do that. But that's where you'd want your line to go up to one of those jetties, or in an eddy somewhere as well. Not to mention that down at Aluka, you've got the little anchorage down there, which apparently doesn't flood in a big flood, and also on the amber side, the marina. If you get into that one, you'll be pretty right as well. Yeah, achievement, wouldn't it? A house with a centre pylon. This is the township of Lawrence. Got a ferry coming up and a power line. So the history between my two friends, Lachlan and Kevin, is fairly close actually. Back in 1989 I went to Dookie Ag College and met up with Lachlan there. That's when I first met him, and then after that we met up again in Kununurra in the Kimberley, northwest Australia, and his family had a banana farm there, and I lived up there for 10 years too, so got to know him pretty well up there and kept in contact ever since. Kev Roberts is a bloke we both knew from Dookie Ag College, although I wasn't associated with the Ag College, more with the football club and the community in general. And he played a bit of footy, and we always, especially Lachlan, kept in contact with him, and was good to catch up with him again.
Famous.
Oh,
The what's his name with the big deep voice? He put out the radio about this aliens landing on the Earth. No, it was on the radio. This is what's his Orson Welles. Haven't you heard of Orson Welles? He's got the big deep voice, and he fed it and put it over the radio and had people in panic all over America. All over America, they were absolutely in panic. Orson Welles had theirs from Martians.
yeah, trying to make out as if the world's going to end or something.
The War of the World. It is to listen to it is just it is fantastic, and it was fair dinkum. He put it over and didn't release it. Let on it was bullshit. Yeah. And this because everyone used to listen to the radio in the old days before you had TV and stuff.
Except when they woke up the next day and it was all still going.
Yeah, Orson Welles, one of the best voices I've ever heard.
Mm.
Yeah. haunting. It's probably
Flathead tails courtesy of Lockland.
Lockie.
Cool.
Pretty good.
Cook, hopefully
Collie.
by Jensen.
Carrot. Corn seems to be pretty popular. Corn.
Oh, it's got mine's gone. I tried to steal Lockie's, he's not into it.
The only one who hasn't got a feed yet is Schnauzel, but she didn't need a feed because she stole everyone's prawns before.
Yes.
The prawn stealer.
The prawn stealer.
Berthed on the public mooring at the front of a township called McLean. We took a bit of time, me and Kev, and went up to the summit of the local hill and had a good look at the surroundings. Got to see the bridge of Harwood from the summit, along with the new bridge and the sugar mill in the haze of the smoke that it creates.
Mill's got a bit of steam coming out of it.
Yeah, they've been burning in the cane.
Yeah.
So,
burn stuff up there.
good thing about these camcorders, they've got pretty good zoom on them.
Yep.
You can get a fair distance. It's hard to find your place, so. An iconic industry, the little mini river trawlers, a lot smaller than the ocean going trawlers, designed to fish for prawns in the river. They've reduced the amount of licenses, but you still see a few kicking around.
Nice and quiet. The world go past.
How'd the windsurfing go, Lachlan?
I look good. Momentarily.
Didn't look any good, sorry.
No, I look good in patches.
In patches.
Yeah.
I must have missed those.
Millisecond.
What do you reckon, Kevin?
Well, probably the highlights were when he went into the water, he looked like a beached whale.
No.
A breached whale, I should say. A breached whale.
A breached whale.
A breaching whale.
No favours being done there, but we went for our first windsurf, and there's the toy there, and had a go at windsurfing, but it was alright, but I wouldn't say that we mastered it or anything. It was a bit windy and it takes a bit to get used to the whole setup. But we're on our way back to Almara. We've got the head sail up and we're sailing into the wind. Another beautiful sail configuration though, I love it. I love the shape of the sail.
Slowing down to 2.1.
What are we down to?
2.1.
Oh.
Last couple of minutes we've just really dropped off.
G'day. We're planning on leaving the Clarence River. We're on our way now. Finished work 3 or 4 days ago. Helped out a friend to get their job started. And took the car down to Aluka, which is at the mouth of the Clarence, to a storage place. Yeah, we're on our way. After being here for quite a few weeks, just motoring down to Harwood today to wait for the bridge to open tomorrow morning at 10:30. We have to book the opening 24 hours before. And also I've got 3 solar panels that are still on board that I've put on Facebook, and John from near Almara is going to pick them up hopefully off the jetty. I did a bit of money against the boat maybe. What else? Oh, I got not watched any of the other episodes, but last time I went down the coast I got a Stuart Webb Warham, I'll call him. He's coming, well he said he would, he sounded pretty excited. I haven't heard back from him yet, but he said he'd make a plan to get back to me, so yeah, so we're on our way. .30 bridge opening. Tide's coming in, so I'll be able to steer easily enough. And then we're going to Aluka, find a spot there, and then we've got a bit of wind. And then Sunday on the open sea. My sanity about to break while everyone I know's out. On a trip, on a boat, on a lake. I'm tired of feeling on FOMO, babe. I don't even care if we stay home. Put our to-do list on ice. Crank the AC to 79 and make a little island right here. And there ain't a palm tree in sight, but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. If we need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth of Patron and a blender, baby. Slipping on a swimsuit is overrated. We don't need a beach to get a half naked. Life's too short, let's not waste it, 'cause paradise is wherever we make it. Paradise is wherever we make it. Till the sun's up Monday, we'll tell our phones, do not disturb. I got my straw hat, babe. And you can finally pull the tags on your Tommy Bahama shirt. Blue crush up on the 85-inch sound machine. When we wanna hear the ocean, I think everything we need is right here. And there ain't a palm tree in sight, but there's not a cloud in your blue eyes. If we need a drink, I'll be the bartender. I got a fifth of Patron and a blender, baby. Slipping on a swimsuit is overrated. We don't need a beach. And entering the harbour of Aluka, which is on the northern side of the Clarence River, right at the mouth. Yamba's on the other side. It's beautifully protected by a break wall, relatively shallow, and apparently doesn't flood in a full river or a flooded river, which is really handy. Got a area where the fish co-op operate out of, and fishing boats down the other end with little sort of like a marina moorings with ramps coming out to your boat that you can hire, and then just the rest of it's just all anchorage, and a pub up on the hill, a new pub actually. They've just built a new pub that's easily accessible. Really quite a nice anchorage. Jojo's getting the run around by the seagulls. They seem to tease her a bit and try and get her to run around the boat, which is quite funny at times. I've noticed them actually try and draw a dog that's swimming in the water out to them and keep tantalising with them to try and get them out in deeper water, I reckon. I don't know if you've noticed the same, but leave us a comment if you have. Toucan is anchored for a few days. The aim is just to wait for the weather on Sunday, and in the meantime just get the boat ready for a passage going south. You can see the extent of the break wall that protects this little harbour, which is really good, and there's a lot of boats anchored. There's a fishing fleet. You can see the fishing boats there run around a sort of a U shape with the slipway in the middle. You just get a brief look at that just there. There's a few more fishing boats, and that's an old riverboat that's been anchored there for a while. I think they want to try and get it out of there because it's been there that long. It's the thing about harbours, you get there and you talk to a few people, you meet a few people that own different boats, and you sort of get the bit of the story about what's going on. It's quite interesting. Every harbour seems to have a few stories. So we started doing a bit of maintenance on the boat, just checking the engines over, and here this little fella here had a big job in front of him. He got himself a flathead, but he seemed to get it down alright. He just gave a couple of shakes of the head. He couldn't even see the bulge in his neck. Well done. Check the props, because I changed the bushes in them with a few homemade ones. They seemed alright. Bit of a history of the bolts coming loose too, so checked all that. It was still warm enough to get into the water. The anodes, because we've been probably in fresh water, I don't know what it was like a metre down, but about on the top you could cup your hands and get a bit of fresh water up river, and it was mostly fresh. So I was always wondering, should I change my anodes, but I didn't, and it didn't. They seem to be activated still, so I don't know what the go there is. I did a test with my electric probes, and all the valencies were okay. They weren't indicating that I was underprotected or anything. Doing another repair on my bimini, which is so important when I'm out on the water, because it just protects me from the elements, especially at night, and I can sort of configure it to all different things, you know, to get a bit of protection from the rain or the cold. So it's just a constant job to fix it all the time. Maybe I need to replace it at one point. Up the mast to check the rigging, and the mast itself doesn't get looked over that often, so I think it's always important to have a look up there to see if anything's gone amiss. Out to the entrance of the Clarence River. you pass by the town beach on the Lucas side, and the surfers were enjoying the big swell. There was a few people there with a crew from Brisbane or Gold Coast taking photos of their surfers. It was pretty impressive. It's sort of like it's the luring of the log fire, staring into the fire almost. I find the waves to do the same thing. You just keep looking at them and they keep coming, and you keep looking at the next one. Impressive with the foam coming off the sides, or just the way they hit the rocks and the way they splash up. You take a little bit of a risk pulling your camera out sometimes, because there'll be one that comes in and it just hits the rocks the right way and it just explodes. Got a fisherman here trying his luck. It looked like it would be good fishing. Yeah, so it was very interesting. Went out to the front to have a look at what the actual bar looks like. And although it was affected, it wasn't affected greatly. We'll just see it in a minute coming up here. This is it here. That's the northern headland, looking on the inside of the river. That breaking water there, sort of to the left of the U-shaped bar, so it indicates that there is something out there that you need to be careful of. That's about looking straight out at the shipping channel. You can see that's water rising up there. That's sort of, I think, where the U-shaped sandbar is. Halfway up the break wall on the Yambara bar, looks as flat as a tack. Not like the other day. I've never gone out the southern entrance, but I think that's where I'm going to go. I think the sandbar's changed a bit. So, yeah, out south and down to Coffs Harbour. I learnt valuable information by checking the bar out on that rough day, because I noticed that there was a breaking wave to the north, which I didn't know that would exist. So I assumed that the bar might have changed a bit, gone a bit more to the north or something. So yeah, it pays to be diligent, and also asks local advice, I find. Anyway, that's it for the episode. Thanks for watching. It's a long one. See you next time with a trip down to Victoria.